copy. So this is our syllabus copy for a subject, and we have completed the assignment 1, as I already told you, and we'll start with the assignment 2. Assignment 2 is create an academic performance data set of a student and perform the following operations using Python. So first is scan all variables for missing values and inconsistency, and then deal with missing values and inconsistency. The second one is scan all numeric variables for outliers, and if there are outliers, use any of the suitable technique to deal with that. And the next one is apply data transformations on at least one of the variables. The purpose of this transformation should be one of the following reasons: to change the scale for the better understanding of a variable, to convert a non-linear relationship into a linear one, or to decrease the skewness and convert the distribution into normal distribution. So we'll go through each and every problem statement from the assignment. So first we'll deal with the missing values. So today we will again start with the basics of missing values, and then go into detail, a technical detail of the missing value. So let me open my collapse first. So this is where we will be having all the trials for today. I have done some practice at home as well. So initially we will go with a missing values basics. Okay. So the first part is, as we have all seen that we need a data cleaning before performing any analysis, or which is also called as a data pre-processing. So let me share a PPT as well. I have prepared for today's session. So let us go through the PPT. Okay. So what I would like to say is we have data gathering, data pre-processing, modeling, assessment, and finally the model deployment, right? So before going to this all, first task what we have to do is pre-processing. This pre-processing takes a lot of time, and it consists of multiple tasks to be performed. Even we say that 60% of our work in the analysis process is about the data pre-processing, and 40% only deals with the data analysis. So this data pre-processing is a practice of correcting or eliminating inaccurate, corrupted, poorly formatted, duplicate, incomplete data from a data set. This is a complete data cleaning. Correct. And over here we have a importance of filling the missing values also. The concept of missing values is important in order to efficiently manage the data. If the researcher or a programmer, or say an academician, does not handle these missing figures efficiently, then there may be some wrong conclusion about the data, which will have a significant impact on the modeling phase. It is a significant problem in data analysis since it has an impact on the outcomes, and it's difficult to have a total faith in the insights when you know that several atoms are the missing data. So if we have multiple missing data values, then we cannot faith completely, or we cannot trust completely on the outcome or the analysis of the outcome, or insight of what we have concluded. Correct. There are multiple problems which occur due to the missing values. For example, statistical power, or the chance that the test would reject the null hypothesis when it is erroneous and is lowered in the absence of evidences. Then the loss of a data might cause the parameter estimation to be skewed. It has the ability to reduce the representativeness of the sample, and it might make the analysis of a study more challenging. So this is what generally happens due to the missing data, or the problems which we face due to the missing data. Now this missing data can occur when no information is provided, or one or more atoms, or for a whole unit. Fine. Missing data is a very big problem, as we have seen, and missing data can also be referred as NA. in our pandas, that is we are generally represent as a not available in value in a panda. So in a data frame, sometimes many data sets simply arrive with missing data, either because it exists and was not collected or it was never existed. So sometimes, as we have seen in a theory session also, that missing data due to multiple reasons, like sometimes the wrong data is entered, sometimes there is a failure in an instrument which record the data, or sometimes due to the laziness of a human being who enters the or a data entry operator who enters the data, right? So there are multiple reasons for the missing data which is occurring in a given data set, correct? So first we'll see in pandas, the missing data is represented by two values. The first is none. So none in a Python singleton object, and that is often used for the missing data in the Python code. And NaN, that NaN is not a number. So it's a special floating point value recognized by all the systems that use the IEEE floating point representation. Now, this panda treat none and NaN. This panda treat none and NN as essentially interchangeable for indicating missing or the null values. And to facilitate this convention, there are several useful and replacing these null values. These functions are is null, not null, drop NA, fill NA, replace, and interpolate. So we will look into this one by one. First, we'll see checking for the missing values using not null or NA. So let's go ahead with it. So here first we will have some basic study of this, and then we will go to exactly the academic what we say, that academic performance data, correct? So initially we will look into the missing values. In order to check missing values in pandas or in our pandas data frame, we use a function is null and not null. So both function helps in checking whether a value is NaN or not. So this function can also be used in pandas series in order to find out the null values in a series. So let us check with that. So let's go back to our collapse frame. Okay. So initially I will first connect to my drive, and so that I will be able to import the data whenever required. So this will prompt me with the connection window where I have to grant the permission to access my drive. Am I right? So it will prompt me that window soon. Yes. So it has prompted me, and I will say that go to drive, and my drive will be connected. Allow all the permission so that it will be able to access the data set from my drive. So, and this is completed. Okay. So let us go and see with this NaN values. So this is actually a repetition of what we have covered in the assignment one. Still, we will cover it over here also, because this specific assignment is pointing towards our null values, okay, or the missing values. So here I have created a data frame which is having the first score, second score, and third score, and there are few values which are null. So this is what my data frame is. So first, initially, I will try to print my data frame. So if I just do print df here, and if I execute the code, you will see here there are few not null, few null values over here. So in all the columns we have null values. In fact, only except the row number 1, all remaining rows are also having the null value. So now let me comment this, and now check if do have a null values in my column. So if I try to run this, so what the function is null, and what it will going to say is the value null in a given data frame. So we can see that from the 0th row, I have the third score as a null. That's the reason it has come as a true. So wherever we have a null, it will be coming as a true. Right? And wherever I have a value, some value, it will be printing it as a false, right? Even in the second score, it has the third score as. So in the second row, it has no null value. In the second row, I have the first value as null, and in the third row, I have a second score as a null. So wherever I find this value as a null, that will be converted as a true. So this is the functionality of isNull function. Please remember, this is the functionality of isNull function. Okay. Now let us see with the data set. So let me take some test data set over here. So first I will go to my drive. I will try to drag and drop my data set over here. So here I have found a data set as an employees data set for checking with these missing values and null values. So this data set I will be importing in my code. Let me take it directly from here. So it was employees data set. Okay. So it was my employee data set, and I'm importing that data set. So we can see here in the data set, I have few null values. See, you can see it here, NaN. So there are 1000 rows and 8 columns total in the data set. So I have only few are printed as per the rule of a print of a data frame, correct? So first 5 rows and last 5 rows are printed over here, and remaining rows are not printed, right? So, and it has given me the statistics of how many rows and columns do I have in my data set. So let me analyze this. So I want to find out if I have. So first we will try to check the information. So I will have df.info. So there are these 7 columns. So it's my first name, gender, start date, last login time, salary, bonus in percentage, senior management, and team. So these are the different columns in my data frame. So I want to check if there are null values in a gender column. If there are null values in a gender column. So what I will try to do first, I will again import it. It's not necessary to do the reading and importing it again and again. Still, I will try to check it over here. So here I have tried to check whether. Okay, I have to give a complete path, which I missed here. So let me give a complete path there. So instead of that, I can have one more. I can reuse the previous code and say that this was df. So I will just check if I have some null value in my df, correct? Let me check why it is giving me error. Again, this is not data, this is df. Okay, so df.bool series I am trying to put. So we can see that gender NaN values, wherever we have the null values in a gender column, those all things are printed over here. What I have done, let me explain you clearly again. See, initially I have read my data frame, or first I will be reading my CSV file into a data frame. My data frame is called as a DF. Now with this DF, I will try to find out is null values, that means that null values in a column gender wherever we have the null values, those I have tried to read out. So I will be taking those null values in the series, and then I will be printing only those rows from the data frame. Correct? So I will be printing only those rows with the data. So here what I have said, displaying data only with the gender as null, that is not a number. Correct? So these are all values which are having a gender as a NaN value, that is a null value. Correct. So in order to check null values in the Pandas data frame, we use a not null function. This function returns a data frame of a Boolean values which are false for a NaN values. So these are false for the NaN values. Correct. Now we'll see again. We will try to execute the same with the data frame which is created here. So I will be trying to create a dictionary of the list, and from this dictionary, please remember here I have created a dictionary from the list. If I go to the initial code, there also I have done the same. So just a second, let me execute this and let me check this not null values. Correct. So this not null gives me, if it is not null. Correct. So 100 के लिए क्या आया है? True, because it is not null. 90 के लिए क्या आया है? True, because it is not null. Correct. And what is this NP? So NP is came as a false. Correct. NP.NaN, because it is a null value. So this not null has given me false over here. I hope you have understood this not null function and the previous is null function. So is null क्या करता है? जब आपका null value है तो is null true करता है, returns us a true, and not null if आपका null value है तो return करता है false. Please remember, it is very a small difference between this not null and a is null function. Correct. Now again I will try to do the same. So I will try to use this not null function for a gender. So if I try to execute it, this is my DF. So this is my DF and this is my DF. So if I try to execute this, okay, it will not execute because currently it is overridden. Correct. So I have to do this all. I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to do here. Okay. So here, see, if you can see, I have checked for the not null in a gender column. So जो कोई null values नहीं है, right? Those all will be returned in this bool series. They will be returned as a true over here, and I will be printing all those true values here. तो gender में जितने values है वो print हो रहे हैं. अभी NaN वाला print नहीं हो रहा है. So जो values available नहीं है, those will not be printed. I hope you understood the difference between is null and not null. Correct. Now we will check like this, filling this missing values using fill NA, replace and interpolate functions. So in order to fill these null values, we use the fill NA, replace and interpolate functions. All these functions help in filling the null values in the data frame. This interpolate function is basically used to fill NA values in the data frame, but it uses various interpolation techniques to fill the missing values rather than hard coding the values. Correct. So filling these null values with a single value. So let us check with it. So here I am using this fill NA, and what I am doing, I am filling it with the 0. So let us execute this code and see. So जो not available थे अभी तक, those all I filled with the 0. If you want to do that, so first we will try to print this. print our original data frame, and then we will try to see in my original data frame I have NaN, that is not a number available to first score, second score and third score, all three columns. So this NaN values I have filled with a 0. You can see here those all are replaced with the 0 by using fill NA function. So this is very simple implementation of fill NA function. Similarly, filling the null values with the previous one. So what we will try to do over here is, so here I will like to fill with the previous one. So let me execute this. So here you can see that it is getting padded with the previous value, correct? The padded with the previous value का meaning क्या हुआ? जो previous row में वो value है, the same value is repeated for the place of NA. See, if again I will try to print my data frame here, so it is easy for us to understand the output, correct? So this is my data frame. Here on the first score column at the second row I have NaN, right? Now that is filled with the previous value itself. 90 copy हुआ है यहाँ पे. Even in the second score I have a last row as NaN, so which is again filled with the previous value. So this is given as a method is equal to pad, right? It means that padding from the previous value. I am doing the padding from the previous one. Even over here I have the NaN, but this NaN doesn't have anything previous, anything from the previous row, and that's the reason it has kept as a NaN itself. Are you able to understand this? How to fill it with the method pad? So method pad is a filling with the previous one. It is a padding from the previous value. So whatever value available just in the previous row, that will be copied to my not number value with this method. And if there is no previous value available, I will be just keeping that NaN as it is. Now let's go with the next technique. It is with the filling null values with the next values, correct? So here so for that I will be using the bfill function, correct? Method is equal to bfill, that is just after just next value will be filled over here. So if I try to execute this, you can see that this value has filled from the previous next value, correct? This value has filled from the next value. So again we will try to print my frame so it is easy to understand. Okay, so whenever I have NaN, the next value is filled at that NaN. Here I have NaN, but there is no next value over here, so it has kept as a NaN. But this NaN is now filled with the next value. So whenever I want to fill the value with the next value, I will be using a method as bfill method. Okay, so this bfill is going to give me the filling with the next value, correct? Now I want to fill the values in the CSV file, correct? So let me take my CSV file again here. Let me read my CSV file. So this is where I will be reading my CSV file. Here I am reading the CSV file, and then I am just printing the first 10 to 24 rows of the data frame for our visualization purpose. So let me print this frame only over here. So if I print, I can see that there are NaN values at row number 20 and 22, correct? Even I have the NaN at 10. Over here in the column of senior management, I have NaN as 23. So there are NaN at multiple places. Now let me correct this. So now what I will try to do, I am going to fill all null values in a gender column with no gender. correct? So as I already told you in my previous session also, so here whenever I want to fill the column with some specific value, I will be using a function as fill na, and then whenever I want to replace it in the original data set, I will be using in place equal to true, correct? I hope you all are there with me. So I will be using this in place equal to true over here. So let me take this. Here I will be here I am trying to fill the values of all the columns which is having the of the column gender with a value as no gender wherever there is no value, and in place टू का मीनिंग क्या है कि ओरिजिनल डेटा फ्रेम में आपका चेंज हो जाएगा. ओके, सो आई विल ट्राई टू एग्जीक्यूट दिस. हियर यू विल बी एबल टू सी, अभी ये जो जेंडर था इसमें नो जेंडर आ गया है, करेक्ट? सो व्हाट डज इट मीन? यहाँ पे NA था which is getting printed as no gender now. So with this what I will learn as जहाँ पे जेंडर कॉलम है, सो व्हाट आई हैव सेड, डेटा फ्रेम का जेंडर कॉलम field with no gender. So wherever I have no values, fill that with no gender. And when I say in place is equal to true, it means that the things are getting reflected in my original data set. So my original data set is getting changed. Even I can do with the replace method as well. So as we have seen, तो पहले फिर से हम लोग एक बार डेटा फ्रेम देख लेते हैं ये वाला प्रिंट करके, करेक्ट? Here I will again like to have the printing of the data frame of 10 to 25. So देख लो एक बार क्या क्या है. So there are multiple values which are coming as NA over here, and I will like to replace these values. I will like to replace this NaN values, that is not a number values, with a frame with minus 99 values, that is a negative number. So how I will try to do that? So I will again do this. Oh, and then the important task, what I will do is I will be replacing those values. So I will be writing a code for that. So we'll replace the NaN values with the minus 99. तो क्या लिखेंगे हम इसके लिए? So I will have data dot replace to replace the value which we want to replace. So to replace np dot nan with a value as minus 99. I hope you all are able to understand this. So I am replacing it with the minus 99 value. Whichever values are available, so I will be replacing them with the minus 99 value. So here we can see यहाँ पे minus 99 जो कोई NaN था, that all I replace with the minus 99. Even I can print my data rows between 20 to 25 after this. So if I try to print this after this, so I will like to print that. Here I have not done in place is equal to true, and that's the reason my original table has not been updated. Please try to understand. अब आपने ये पूरा लिखा है data dot replace to replace np dot nan value is equal to minus 99. ये सब आपने लिखा है, लेकिन इसका कोई यूज है क्या? नहीं, because original data frame में वो reflect नहीं हो रहा है. If I have written it as in place is equal to true, then it will be replaced in the original data frame as well. Here I can see that again कि जो कोई np.nan values थे, it means that जो कोई nan values थे, those all are getting replaced with minus 99. So आप minus 99 यहाँ देख पा रहे हो, right? Even in the gender field also I have minus 99 here. So my values are getting replaced. So till now what we have seen, I have seen the field NA, I have seen the field NA to field with the previous value, I have seen the field NA to field with the next value के लिए B field है, previous value के लिए pad है, which is my padding, correct? Then I have tried to field the values with some default value as field NA with some default value as a no gender and in place is equal to 2, and now I am trying to replace the value. So I'm replacing my NaN with minus 99. And then lastly, we will see this interpolate function to fill the missing values using linear method, correct? So interpolation function को देखते हैं एक बार. So for this, again, I have created a data frame which is having the values as none, none, none. So which are replaced as NaN, NaN, NaN over here. I hope you all are able to see that. Now let's use this interpolate. This interpolate function is used to fill the missing values using linear method. Now please remember that this linear method ignores the index and treat the values as equally spaced, correct? So I will like to interpolate this with the function df.interpolate, and then this df.interpolate method is linear and limit direction is my forward, correct? So if I try to do this, I can see that these values, NaN values, are getting replaced with the interpolation method. Right? This interpolation method we will see in detail in our theory classes. Now we can drop the missing values using drop NA function. So drop NA function, आपने already we have seen this drop NA function over here. So again I will create a data set for this. So this is my data frame which is created, and now I will be dropping the rows with at least one NaN value. So if I try to do that, how to do this dropping of values? So here I will use df drop NA. So जो कोई रो में एक भी NA value है, if any rows contain any of the not available values or not a number values, those all rows will be dropped. So I am trying to drop it. So as we can see that यहाँ पे सारे rows में except a third row, all 0, 1, 2 rows are having NaN values. So all these rows will be dropped. 0, 1 and 2 rows will be dropped, and only third row will be kept as it is. So this is my drop NA function. I hope this drop NA is also clear with you. Now dropping rows if the all values in that row are missing. So this we will again do. So we will be checking. So for this also I will be creating one more data frame. So this is my data frame. You all can see the data frame over here. Only the last row is not having the missing values or null values, correct? So suppose I want to drop those rows whose all data is missing and contains the null values, correct? So here I will be dropping them. So यहाँ पे क्या कर रही हूँ, drop NA how is equal to all. So all values null रहेंगे तो only those, see all values not null रहेंगे तो those rows will be deleted over here. Are you able to find out the difference between this? See यहाँ पे last row में एक भी null value नहीं है, करेक्ट? लास्ट रो में एक भी नल वैल्यू नहीं है. सो ये ड्रॉप NA हाउ इज इक्वल टू ऑल, तो ये फंक्शन क्या करता है, जो कोई रो में सारे नॉट नल वैल्यूज नहीं है, जो कोई रो में एक भी नॉट नल वैल्यू एक भी नल वैल्यू नहीं है, दैट रो विल बी dropped and remaining rows will be kept as is. So this drop NA how is equal to all is exactly opposite of drop NA, करेक्ट? ड्रॉप NA क्या करता था, ड्रॉप NA कोई भी नल वैल्यू है तो वो रोज को ड्रॉप करता था. एंड व्हेन आई गिव द पैरामीटर एज हाउ इक्वल टू ऑल, दिस इज गोइंग टू ड्रॉप द रो विच इज हैविंग ऑल द वैल्यूज. सो एक भी रो में सपोज नल वैल्यू है तो दैट विल नॉट बी ड्रॉप. So please try to understand the difference. Now we will see dropping columns with at least one null value, correct? So again we will try to print our data set first. So अभी data set print किया है यहाँ पे. अब मैंने क्या बोला है, dropping the column with at least one null value, missing values, correct? Dropping a column with at least one missing value. अब मुझे बताओ कौन से कॉलम में मिसिंग वैल्यू है. सो आई हैव अ मिसिंग वैल्यू इन अ फर्स्ट कॉलम, आई हैव अ मिसिंग वैल्यू इन अ सेकंड कॉलम, आई हैव अ मिसिंग वैल्यू इन अ थर्ड कॉलम, करेक्ट? फोर्थ कॉलम में एक भी मिसिंग वैल्यू नहीं है, राइट? सो व्हाट आई विल ट्राई टू डू, आई विल ट्राई टू drop a column which have at least one missing value. So you can see the output this. So first, second, third column ड्रॉप हो गए बिकॉज दे आर हैविंग एटलीस्ट वन नल वैल्यू है ना, एक तो नल वैल्यू, लेकिन फोर्थ कॉलम में विच इज माई फोर्थ स्कोर इज नॉट हैविंग एनी ऑफ द नल वैल्यू, सो इट इज रिटेन एज इट इज. over here you can see the parameter axis over here. So drop in में axis का functionality आप देख सकते हो. So when I say axis equal to 1, I consider the columns, I do not consider the row. My first assignment also, when I consider axis equal to 1, it is my column wise, it is not row wise. So to do the analysis column wise, I will be putting axis is equal to 1, correct. Now I want to play with my CSV file. So I will be taking my CSV file, so going back and checking my CSV file here. So let me go to my CSV file. So first we will try to read my CSV file after this, correct. So this is my CSV file employees, which I already shown you, and then I will be making a new data frame with drop NA values over here, correct, by dropping values over here. So here you can see making new data frame मैंने बोला इसलिए new data is equal to current data dot NA. Axis 0 है, इसका मतलब row wise I will be handling this, and how is equal to any. So anything having a NA value will be dropped, and only the rows which are having not null values will be accessed or will be copied to my new data frame. Understood all of you? So let me go back and now we compare the sizes of two data frames. So कैसे compare करेंगे? एक मेरा old वाला जो data frame था वो data करके था, और new वाला data frame है new data करके, correct? यहाँ पे मैंने new data करके new वाला data frame लिया है, and my old वाला data frame data करके था, correct? So I will be printing the length of the old data frame and a new data frame, correct? So old data frame का length क्या था 1000, न्यू डेटा फ्रेम का लेंथ क्या हो गया 764. वाई? बिकॉज न्यू डेटा फ्रेम में आपने क्या कॉपी किया है, देखो यहाँ पे न्यू डेटा फ्रेम में आई एम कॉपिंग दोज रोज ओनली विच आर नॉट हैविंग एनी नल वैल्यू, करेक्ट. आई एम कॉपिंग दोज रोज विच आर नॉट हैविंग नल वैल्यूज, बिकॉज यहाँ पे मैंने ड्रॉप एनी की, व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, ड्रॉप द नल वैल्यूज, drop the rows which are having null values, correct. So only those rows which do not have the null values will be copied in new data frame. इसीलिए मेरा new data frame का length क्या हुआ 764. So the old data frame का length क्या था 1000. So this 1000 rows are having the null values and not null values both. What does it mean? Missing values on all available values, both are available in the old data frame. In my new data frame, I am having only the new values. What does it mean by new values? The values which are not having the null values. The rows which do not have the null values are copied into new data frame. So number of rows with at least one NA or not a number or not available or a null value are 236, which is my 1000 minus 764. So this is how I do a complete analysis of missing values. This is how I do a complete analysis of missing values and handling the missing values. I hope you have understood this. Again, for a repetition, I will tell you whatever we have covered. So initially we have seen what is a null value and how to handle these null values. These null values can be handled with the functions n is null and not null. So is null and not null are exact opposite to each other. Is null is going to return a true for null values and not null is going to return a true for a value. Correct. Then we have seen drop NA. So drop NA is going to drop all not null, all null values, all null rows will be dropped with the drop NA. Fill NA is used to fill the null values. So either you can fill it with the previous values by using pad, or you can fill it with the next values by using bfill. correct? Even I can have a replace function, and then lastly I have the interpolate function with the interpolation of the linear values. So this is what is for the missing values.